Hey guys, I haven't posted any videos in a really long time, but am finally back! Today I will be talking about my Boys Planet opinions. Some of them may be unpopular, some of them may be popular opinions, but the most important part is that these are all opinions I have formed myself. I will be trying to upload more consistently from now on, and the next video I have planned is making my The BEP1 debut of my dreams, including an album and my own dream lineup and concept, so please stay tuned for that video, which will probably be uploaded in a few days. Okay, without further ado, let's start this video. Zhao ranks 11th to 9th place. I've recently been looking at a lot of fan-made polls, which can be good for predicting the final results of Boys Planet. And what I've noticed is that Wang Zihao always ranks quite high when it comes to 2-1 pick voting, but lower when it comes to voting for multiple people. He also has high fancam views, and his support is always filled up first in the net app. What this means is that he has a big one-pick fandom, but isn't most people's filler vote. So his ranking will most likely shoot up in the finale, if he makes it that far. As that's only one-pick voting, which I think is totally deserved. He is the best dancer in the whole show and is a stable and reliable vocalist with a good range. I think his only obstacle is his K votes. As we could see in the second elimination, he had over 1 million international votes but only 36,000 Korean votes, which is a huge difference, but also surprisingly not the biggest ratio last elimination. He is the most famous trainee in China, because he is a trainee under Lay from EXO's company. He also has a huge Japanese fan base. He sadly doesn't have as many Korean fans as he has no screen time at all. The preview for the next episode shows him wearing a mic for the first time, probably because a lot of Chinese fans complained, and the people that watched the performances live said that he re-choreographed the chorus for Supercharger, so he might finally get some more K votes after the next episode. I think the reason why NET doesn't give him any screen time is because he's almost impossible to evil edit, unlike most Chinese trainees, since he is as talkative because he's still learning Korean. If he doesn't end up getting evil edited somehow, then I predict that he will gain some more K fans and end up in 18th or 17th place next elimination. If he makes it to the finale, I wouldn't be surprised if ends up placing anywhere from 11th to 9th place, because a lot of Chinese fans are apparently waiting to vote for the finals. Hua's idol career is over after this. If Hua doesn't debut in BEP, there's only a very small chance that he can continue as an idol. It seems like Cube has completely given up on Pentagon, and like the group is on the brink of disbandment. 3 out of 9 members are in a survival show right now, which says a lot about the state of the group. Hua, the leader and producer, is on Boys Planet. Jino is on a show that will debut a quartet, while Yinan is rumored to be on a show in China. The only way I can see them surviving as a group is if they pull an icon and have a small company pick them up using Hua's post-Boys Planet hype to rebut them. But things like this don't happen often, and I also don't see them going independent like GOT7. The most likely scenario that I see happening is that Pentagon disbands, and Hua becomes a full-time producer and songwriter, and might also sing some OSTs for some random K-dramas. Calling BEP a global group is kinda crazy when there probably won't be more than 3 G group trainees in the final lineup. 3 out of 9 isn't global, that's the amount of foreigners in the average K-pop group. For BEP to really be a global group, they'd have to have 5 G group trainees, but we all know that xenophobic K-nets would never let that happen. Yetam Zihao rivalry. This isn't really an opinion but more of an observation that a Twitter user made that I think is kinda funny. Both Yetam and Zihao did the star level test alone and had the exact same outfit on despite their songs having completely different vibes. They are both also known as the best dancers on the show or as Dance Kings, and even had their dance battle against each other. Everything on a TV show is very rigorously planned out beforehand, and I don't think it's that much of a reach to say that the producers might have originally planned out a little K versus G group rivalry between them, that eventually got cut from the episodes, which could be a reason why none of them have any screen time anymore, as both their storylines got cut. The Planet Pass should have existed this season. One of the few things that I think was done extremely well last season in Girls Planet was the Planet Pass. The fact that this season has zero influence from the Star Masters is actually very scary. Like look at how Doll was in the top 9 at some point and how a majority of Koreans refused to vote for G group trainees because of xenophobia. I think we forget that these survival shows can either make or break trainees' futures. There are trainees that are super talented and have given up their childhoods, dropped out school and focused 100% on becoming an idol only for them to be voted out of survival shows because they had no screen time. That's where the Planet Pass could have saved them and helped them gain more exposure, but for some reason it decided that they wouldn't have the Planet Pass this season, even though I feel like Boys Planet needs it more than Girls Planet needed it, and it just pisses me off so much. What is the point of the Planet Masters if they can't help trainees? Yoonmi, Anthony, Jo, Kong, Hanbin, Sungmin, Yeodam, and Christian are all talented trainees who I feel like deserved another chance. Bipolar needs Gunwook. Bipolar would be lacking in rap skills if he doesn't make it. Geta is also an amazing rapper, but only having one good rapper in a K-pop group means they will end up pushing 1 or 2 other members who aren't actually interested in rap and aren't good at it, into the rap position. A good example of this is actually almost every K-pop group. This usually happens to the weakest vocalist of the group. A lot of K-nets are also refusing to vote for Geta because he's short, which is just such an insane reason to me. I honestly feel like Boys Planet is lacking in skilled rappers in general. The only trainees I can think of that focus on rap and that are actually good at it are Kangmin, Jo, Geta, Gunwook and Haruto. Gunwook is an amazing rapper. He has a lot of experience writing lyrics. He's also an amazing dancer and great vocalist, and I feel like every big K-pop group needs 1 or 2 all-rounders. This is also Gunwook's second survival show. He was so close to making the final lineup in Wild Idol, and I feel like he might give up on his dreams if it happens a second time. Yujin fans or creepy. Han Yujin is 15 years old and was born in 2007, and one of the main reasons why he became so popular in Korea is because he went viral for his visuals. I don't know if it's just me, but the way I see a lot of grown-ass K-nets talk about him just makes me uncomfortable. Like you all really need to stop thirsting for a literal child, it's so weird. I also just don't understand how grown women are attracted to Yujin when he honestly looks a few years younger than his age. That's also why I really don't want him to debut. I'm against minors debuting in K-pop and believe that all idols should have graduated high school before debut, and I'm pretty sure Yujin only became a first year in high school recently since the Korean school year starts in March, and starts when you're 16-17 in Korean age. He gets extremely sexualized not only by his fans but also by the show. They are always calling him sexy even though he is literally just a kid. He is a minor. You all need to learn how to leave him alone. I just saw a video of him on Twitter that was taken at a fan event. Fans kept asking him to say "Nuna, I love you." Nuna is what younger boys refer to older girls, women. Yujin looked extremely uncomfortable in the video, and fans that were there said it looked like Jong Hao is rubbing his back trying to comfort him. He is apparently getting harassed at school too. It's very concerning how openly Mnet tries to make Yujin appeal to older women. It's even more concerning how many grown-ass women ask him to do these disgusting requests in real life. It kind of reminds me of how a survey found that men in their 30s bought New Jeans album way more than teenage girls, and how there were quite a few grown men at their fan sign asking them to do a duo. Now, let's talk about the thing that most K-pop stans want to ignore, and it's the fact that companies market their underage idols to these kinds of demographics on purpose. Mnet zooming in and replaying when Yujin touched his thigh in Backdoor, and making him say "Nuna, I love you" multiple times on the show is all fan service for his disgusting pedo fans. That's why Yujin shouldn't debut yet. The K-pop industry is inherently exploitative, and that's a very dangerous mix when it comes to minors. He is extremely popular, and if he waited 2 or 3 years to debut, while training more and receiving counseling and help so he gets the mental strength to handle his crazy fans, then I think his debut will still be very successful, because it's very obvious that he's not used to or prepared for the attention he's receiving. Gunwook is the Daeyeon of this season, Takuto is my and Taeray is Chaehyun. I don't think the first comparison needs an explanation, it just makes sense. Takuto is the Maya of this season because both of them are kids that made it a little too far in their respective seasons. The Taeray Chaehyun thing also just makes sense. He has a huge Korean fan base and it wouldn't surprise me if he ended up ranking 3rd place or something in the finale. Please no Signal Song Mission. I hated the Signal Song Mission from last season that they had right before the finale. It sucked. Please don't bring it back. Not everything is evil editing. I do agree that Mnet loves to evil edit trainees, especially Chinese ones, but some of the things we see on the show really did happen. We literally saw Kamden cry because of the backdoor team situation. I don't think any of the trainees involved deserve any hate, especially since they made up afterwards and their teamwork became way better, but I don't like how people try to deny that it happened in the first place. I also think that whenever a G group trainee might say something in Korean that seems a bit harsh, we all need to remember that most of them can barely speak the language and that they probably didn't mean to say it that way. The fandom has a big sissing issue. It's very scary how a survival show with trainees that are nowhere near debuting yet already has this many sissings. If I'm being honest, I already knew exactly who survived the second elimination around a week before the episode aired because sissings somehow found out where they were having their second sports day and took pictures of the boys behind some bushes. This information and the pictures were shared online and they were pretty much inescapable if you were on Twitter. I recently saw someone sharing pictures they took of Yujin going to school. I won't be putting the pictures here, because they're a breach of a 15-year-old's privacy, but if you really want to see them it's not hard to find them on Twitter. Now, my point here is that if the fandom already has this big of an issue this early before debut, then the sissings will only become even more invasive when they actually debut. Mnet and Wake One need to do something about this since they're the ones managing Boys Planet, and will also be managing Bipolar. It's absolutely crazy how many people were able to find their private filming locations, and also find out exactly which flights they're on. And it's even crazier that adults are following a 15-year-old around when he's going to school. Mnet needs to get better security before someone gets hurt. Okay, yeah, all that was the end of this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and comment if there was anything you either disagreed or agreed with. I'll see you all in the next video where I give Bipolar a proper debut.